Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a movie review on an old film. It's from, I took notes, 1985, a movie called Silent Witness. I found it on Amazon Prime and I wanted to do a review on it. Let's talk about it. Okay, so there's a couple, Anna and Kevin Dunne. Anna is played by Valerie Bertinelli. That was the only face that I recognized in the movie. I went online and looked up the cast review. It says that Stone Cold Steve Austin was in there, but I didn't see him. Didn't pay attention. Anyway, so yeah, Kevin and Anna are house searching, and one night they meet up at the bar. And it goes from them drinking, having a good time, to a rape going on. And part of that, one of the guys that's raping the lady is Michael, who is Kevin's brother. And Michael has a knife up to the lady's neck, and Kevin, he goes over there and say, "Hey, Michael, get off of there," instead of getting off of her and stopping this whole thing. And then somebody just one of the guys growls at him, and he steps back and doesn't do anything else. So they watch this rape go on but don't do anything. And so at the end of the night, Kevin and Anna go home together. She throws up in the sink and he drinks some more, and just trying to make sense of it all, but they really can't. And so they go on about their lives. And then well, I shouldn't say that. Before that, Kevin goes to get Michael for work the next day, and he's very upset about it. And they all work together. They're garbage men, so they're picking up garbage, throwing it into a boat or something they're by the water. And he's telling you guys know what you did. And then they're nothing happened, so don't talk about it. And what I want to say, Kevin and Anna, they're walking home, and he's telling her that they cleaned her up real good and wiped any traces and dropped her off by a warehouse, so nobody will ever know that anything happened. And then after that, they just go on with their regular lives, his brother and two other men didn't rape somebody. And it plays on her mind, because she's just should I say something, should I not say something? This is my brother-in-law, what do I do? And let's see. Oh, and when Kevin was telling her about it, and they were oh, her name is Patti, so they know her name is Patti. That's it. And let's see, Anna, who in the movie they call her Annie, and at first I thought that was her name, but her name is Anna. She goes to see Patti. Patti is in this, her room is literally a bed, a dresser, and this old rickety white chair. It's just there's nothing to that room, almost she's in a, what do I want to say without being rude, a sane asylum. It's just very, I don't know, something about that room creeped me out. And so she talks to her, and Patti tells her, she's you look familiar, were you there that night? And Anna admits it. She's yeah, I was there that night, I saw what happened. And they embraced, and she gave her a hug. And Patti admits to being an alcoholic who blacks out. And then they just talk about she did have one thing up on the wall, something from a school, one of those banners from a school. And they talked about that, and she said something about an old boyfriend. And then she and Anna leaves. When she left, she went home, where the Dunne family threw her a surprise birthday party. So it was also her birthday the same day she went to go see Anna. And they wanted her to open up one specific card before she opened up anything else. And so she opens the card, and there's a check. There's a check for $3,000, and it says towards the house of your dreams. And Kevin and Michael's mother in the back, like, she holding up her champagne glass, and she says, "From the Dunne family." And so Anna storms out. She's like, "What is this? Not blackmail, but hush money." She was like, "To make me forget, because I'm not gonna forget." And Kevin is like, "She just must be very tired," and Michael has a wife. I meant to say that. Michael has a wife and 2 kids. Jeannie is his wife, and he has a girl and a boy. And when they first, like, when I said Kevin went to go pick up Michael for work, that baby was lit, like, yelling at the top of his lungs. He would not stop crying. And it's just like, oh, hush that baby up. So yeah. And then after that, she was like, "What is this? A bribe to make me forget because I won't." So basically telling them, they hadn't said anything to the police yet, but basically she was telling them, if I want to say something, this $3,000, y'all not gonna make me be quiet with this $3,000. So y'all can take this, and me and my husband will continue to save on our own. And so then once again, Michael and Kevin's mom, we just gonna call her Mama Doom, because I don't think they gave her a name, because when she came to Anna and she was like, "I want to talk," she just called her Mama. So Mama Doom, they're walking down the street till they get to a bridge over water. And so they stop right there, and she says, "My boy didn't do this, but if he did, what good? Her life is already ruined. What good would it be to ruin everybody else's life?" I would just say, what good does it do to send everyone down the drain after her? So basically telling her, even if he did do it, keep your mouth closed. Don't think about it. Just let it go. It didn't happen. You didn't see anything. Don't worry about it. And sorry, my notes. The DA Ted Gunny met with the Doones, Kevin and Anna, not Michael and his wife. Oh wow, I forgot. I'm missing some stuff. Before Anna went to go meet with Patti went to the police station to accuse them of rape, and Michael was arrested, and like, Jenny calls them down to the police station, like, he's been arrested, just come down here. They're accusing him of being with a woman. And so at that point, Jenny still didn't know anything about it, whatever. She's sticking by her husband. At that point, I'm with you. You don't know if this is real or not, so stick by your man. Don't believe anybody else. But so where are we? And then also after that, like, they have a family picnic, and Anna and Michael were arguing about it. She's like, "You know what you did, I saw what you did," and now she's accusing you. And then Michael's just trying to play it off like, "Oh, it's no big deal, don't worry about it, it's nothing, don't worry about it, I didn't do anything." And then no, because he said something that really got on my nerves. Yeah, he said it was the first time no meant yes. No never means yes, because if you mean yes, you will say yes. No means no. Okay. Oh yeah, so when the DA meets with the Dunnes, he asks them, and they have an attorney. So the attorney's like, they're not answering any questions, they're not saying anything, nothing. And so he asked both of them, like, do you know what perjury is? Do you know what could happen? And they're just like, yeah, try us. We're not saying anything. And so after they leave, the DA and his, I'm going to assume his assistant or his second chair, they're like, well, the only good thing they could take away from it was they're not helping the defense either. So they're just not talking to anybody about anything. So there was a one of the detectives who arrested Michael was a black woman, and her name was Detective Jackson, and she cornered her in the bathroom and told her she deserted Patti. It's like, you left her out there feeding for herself, saying that they raped her, and you were there, you saw it, and you're not helping her. And Anna tried to defend herself. She's saying, it's my life, I'm gonna live my life my way, no one's gonna tell me what to do. Like, girl, no, this ain't the time for that. You witnessed something and you need to have Patti's back and saying that they raped her. Yeah, that's your brother-in-law. That's where you're stuck in the middle. Like, do I tell on my family, or do I help out a woman who was defenseless and held down by two guys while each of them took a turn out of the three? So we're in court and Patti's on the stand. And as far as TV goes, like, they announce her on television, but they won't show her face. They just show the back of her head to what do they say, to protect her identity. But who's ever in the courtroom, they can see her face and they're listening. And so she's very, very nervous, like twisting her hands, like holding on tightly to them while they're asking her questions to tell her story. And it's heartbreaking because it's just like, you have to relive what happened to you and tell it in front of a bunch of people and pray that they believe you. And the defense attorney, I know it's not real, but that man is disgusting. I didn't even figure out his name, but he is disgusting. He was just like, he had a paper from one of her AA meetings and made her read out loud what she said in the meeting. And they're Alcohol Anonymous for a reason. First of all, how did you get a hold of this, and how is this able to be brought into evidence for you to talk about and say what she said? But anyway, in her admission, she just said, what did she say? I'm so sorry. I had it in my head, like, ready to go. Saying she's a different person when she's drinking. She can get really crazy. It only takes a few drinks to get her going, and you know what get her going mean. Like, she ready to do any and everybody. If you there, she with it. Not really, but you know what I mean. So he is just like attacking her. Like, so you say now you know not to have 3 drinks, only to have 1, and not even have 1. Like, don't have any drinks because you know what it does to you. And so I guess he has her statement from when she reported the rape, and it's like, when you went to that bar, did you have 3 drinks? She's like, no, I only had 1. And then he's looking down at the paper. I'm like, and when you went to another bar, did you say that you had 2? And she's like, no, they bought me 2 drinks, the 3 guys. And so he was like, he handed her the paper and said, can you tell me where in your statement it says that you went to this bar and had those drinks? And of course she's scanning it and she's like, it doesn't say that. So he's like, so if you're drinking and you're known to have blackouts, how do you know that you didn't mistake this for somewhere else, and you're not wrongfully accusing these 3 young men of doing something they didn't do? First of all, they ain't young. They don't look young at all, especially the fat one. And who are I to call somebody fat? A fat girl. But yeah, the fat one at the end with that rapist mustache, him and the one next to Michael was clean face, clean shaven, so he kind of had a young face, but you knew he was older enough. They were not young men. The other two had a rapist mustache, and you know what that mustache, that thick mustache looks like. They were old enough to know better. And it's kind of just like, in what real courtroom would he be allowed to do this? Because he's like all in her face, like, did you know that you did this? And can you say that you did this? And like just so close in her face. And Patty's like, no, like that's not what I meant. And she's like, I know what happened to me. And he's just, and she blacks out. And so they have to catch her. And it's kind of like nobody believes her. So you see her back in her room, curled up in a corner, looking out the window. And in the next scene, you see that detective I was talking about, Detective Jackson. She knocks on Anna's door, and she says, congratulations. It's not just a rape now, it's murder. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, Patti killed herself. She committed suicide because of this, because you left her on her own. After that, that's when Anna agrees to testify. And then her and Kevin have an argument about it. He's like, we agreed to let this go. So you need to go back to the DA and tell him that you changed your mind. And she's like, I'm not doing that. It was wrong from the very beginning, but now she killed herself. So now I have to say something. And Kevin told her, you're my wife, so you have to do as I say. My girl packed up her stuff and moved out. Now it's Anna's turn to testify. And in her testimony, she says that they never specified who was who, but Lou was at the door, and as Mike cheered Carl on, and also said Mike had a knife that he was holding up to her neck. And she said she didn't see the whole thing. She saw Michael, I want to say Michael, penetrating her, and then it's like she would look away, and then she would look back, and then she would look away and look back to see if this was really real and this was really happening to Patti. And then her testimony is over. And then we come back to court, and there's another woman testifying. And at first I was just like, what does she have to do with this? But come to find out that Kevin had a mistress, and Anna knew about it. And with her knowing about it, she threatened to get Kevin back, insinuating that this is her way of getting the family back, which makes no sense. And my hair, I just deep conditioned it and just letting it air dry, kind of getting on my fingers. Sorry, y'all not here for that. And then Jenny, who I said was Michael's wife, I was gonna call her Kevin's wife. You remember about the check and how she said, this isn't gonna make me forget, because I won't. Now, you know, she was talking about the bribe of what happened to Patti, but she's saying, this party isn't gonna make me forget about the fact that Kevin cheated on her, and that she's gonna get back at the family, saying that her testimony about seeing the rape is getting back at the Dunne family. And I said, that makes no sense whatsoever, but it's crazy how Jenny flipped on her, saying that she would do something like that. I'm like, y'all, you claim y'all two are supposed to be best friends, but look at what you're doing just to protect your rapist husband. Rapist. But I said, see, something about them. I don't want to say white women, but white women, something about y'all go to the end of the earth to protect your husband, swear everybody's lying. It's just everybody else in the world but your nasty husband. The man is trifling. And then Oh, and then her boyfriend, Anna's ex-boyfriend, like comes into town. They're talking one night, and he said he would testify for her, like saying she's a good person. What they're saying about her could never be true. They have sex that night. And after them having sex, and he's testifying and she's watching it on TV, he's saying again, another person saying that she was doing this to go against the family and get back the family, saying she's going to write a book about what happened. And it's just like, she couldn't believe it. She was like, why would you do this? And I was thinking, why would you sleep with him? And how is he popping up all of a sudden? Y'all ain't spoke to each other in years. You shouldn't even be having contact with this man. But he shows up saying he's going to support you, and you just sleep with him. Ex-boyfriend or not, I'm like, thank you for coming. I appreciate that. If you're going to do that, thank you. But sleep with him for what? And so after he did that, then Kevin goes to I guess Michael's house, and I guess the mom stays with them because once again she's there. And like Kevin pushes him, and he's like, what are you doing? You're trying to destroy the woman that I love with these lies and all this stuff that you're doing. And he was like, we had a deal, we were done. No, Jenny said that. She was like, we were done, this was about to be wrapped up. And she had to open her mouth and say something. And he was like, okay, but you did it. And she was like, I don't believe that. And he said, well, let me tell you something, honey. You need to believe it because your husband did it. I saw it too. And she's still just like, oh, excuse me. And she's still like, I don't believe it. And then the mom is, what did the mom say? She's like, because he was like, I'm done with y'all. I'm done with everybody. And she's like, don't say that because sooner or later you're going to want back in. Like, I'm guessing wanting back into the family. Nobody wants back into this family. He said, no, don't worry about it. No, I don't. And then Anna goes back and testifies to, I guess, like clear that up with what happened with Joey, saying, yeah, we slept together, but I never said I would get a book deal. I'm not talking to anybody about a book deal. There's nothing in the works for a book, so that never happened. I just slept with him, and he did it to get exposure, I guess, and y'all let him walk right in the door. And the night before, Kevin comes to Anna again and tells her, like, I'm moving. I'm going to California. You can come with me and we can start over. We can leave this where it is. We ain't got to talk about it no more. Let this be where it's at. Let us leave and we can do that. And oh, I'm sorry, I'm mixing it up. That happened before Anna testified again. He said that, and she was like, I can't do that. I can't do that to Patti. So after she testified again and said she just slept with Joey, you know, just as, I guess, a reminiscing thing, like sleeping with him one last time, she said, I'm the only person left that can speak for Patti and what happened to her. And she's like, I know what I saw and I know what he did, and I'm speaking for her. And Kevin was about to leave. He was at the gas station getting gas. He got a cup of coffee, and you know they're televising it, so he saw her and saw what she said. And then you see him driving off from the gas station, and then in the next scene it's him testifying against his brother, saying he also saw it. And we don't get to find out what happened to them, because after he leaves the stand and then him and Anna kiss, I believe, I can't remember if they kissed or if they just hugged, and she said, I love you, Kevin, and the movie goes off. So we don't find out what happened to the three rapists. Like, do they go to jail, do they not? We don't really know. And I thought that was a sucky way to end the movie. Like, what happens to them? And in my opinion, they should also be charged with murder, because rape victims who kill themselves, that's, in my opinion, that's murder, because you did something so vile and violent to them. Their lives, as Mama Doone said, her life was ruined. She would never be the same after that. I don't know any rape victim that would be. You took something from me that I can never get back. So yeah, now my life is in ruins because I will always think about you. You get that power. I will always think about you. I will always imagine you on top of me from behind. However, I will always imagine you, and you will always have a piece of my life. That's so yeah, I'm gonna blow my brains out or hang myself. Excuse me for being too graphic, because of what you did to me. And some women, not even some rape victims, because women are not the only rape victims. They can't handle that. They can't handle every day waking up, because you think about it. There's every day. You do not get over it. There's no way you can put that in the back of your mind. So you're thinking about it every day. I wasn't strong enough to stop this, and that's what you're thinking. It's not a testament of how strong you are, but that's what you're thinking. Like, I wasn't strong enough to stop you, and you did this to me. So now I'm gonna do this to me to stop thinking about you. But apparently it's based on a true story, but because I looked it up. So Times Magazine had an old magazine. It's based on a true story, but they were also talking about the movie and like how kind of horrible the movie was, because it's just like, you wouldn't believe it like when you see it, like the movie. Because once again, that defense attorney, I'm not gonna let that go, because he, even when he cross-examined Anna once again with the are you sure, can you do that, are you sure, and it's just like, in what courtroom would you allow this? What judge would just let you be all up in their face like that, doing all that without saying, counselor, back the hell up? None. But yeah, that was an old movie. I don't know if I showed you guys my notes, but I took plenty of notes to talk about it, and it's something that I want to start doing, just finding older movies to do reviews on and see if anybody remembers them and wants to talk about them. So if you liked it, give me a holler, and I'll see you guys on the next one, or let me know if you want me to review something. Peace.